Die Hard, maybe the ultimate action series, starring Bruce Willis as Detective John McClane, beating up the bad guys and taking care of business. Yeah, ooh, yeah! That was terrible. Okay, so these were some of the first action movies I ever saw, and the early ones are still absolute classics for me, even though I was probably a bit too young to be watching them. But I guess that's what happens when you stay up late watching Sky movies as a kid. Now, with Die Hard being such a huge franchise, it's no wonder they ended up making video games out of the movies, and this is the one I remember best, Die Hard Trilogy for the PlayStation. Released in 1996, it was based on the first three movies, which, oddly enough, are the only ones worth watching. The trick behind this game is that it's actually 3 games in one, with each movie having its own distinct style of gameplay. Let's start with the original Die Hard, which is a third-person shooter where you play as John McClane. The bad guys have taken over Nakatomi Plaza, and you have to clear them out by politely killing all of them. You start at the bottom floor of the building, and you have to work your way up to the top by eliminating all the enemies on every floor, and rescuing the hostages if you can. This is something I'm not very good at. As you might expect, there are plenty of guns you can use to dispatch your foes, and they don't skimp on the pixelated blood. It might not look that gory now, but this game actually got an 18 rating, probably making it one of the most violent games of the time. There's actually an option in the pause menu where you can turn down the blood, but who would do that? I want to see the blood. Now, maybe this was a fun game at the time, but playing it almost 30 years on, the controls drive me kind of crazy. This came out before the DualShock controller existed, so you only have the D-pad to move around, and it can be extremely clunky. McClane moves more like RoboCop, and while you can sidestep with the shoulder buttons, it doesn't make much difference, because these guys will just pump you full of bullets. You don't get many lives, and the enemies chew through your health so fast, I barely made it to the second level before getting a game over. And when that happens, that's it. You go straight back to the bottom of the building. No continues or anything. It's brutal. Not only that, but killing endless hordes of enemies gets boring really fast. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. It just makes you want to quit the game, but even that is a challenge in itself. Not really sure? Ask a friend? Since when did quitting the game become an episode of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I guess I'll ask a friend. Wow, get a life. Maybe I would if you'd actually leave some power-ups in the game. Now, would you believe there's 19 levels of this thing? I swear it took less time for McClane to save the real building in the movie. Even worse, when I did clear out the final level, you get a timer where you're supposed to escape through the elevator before the floor blows up. And after all that, I missed it by barely a second, so I had to watch the bad guys win. Well, at least you can say I died hard. Die Hard 2? Die Harder. What a title. This one is completely different. It's more like a light gun shooter, so presumably, you're supposed to play it with one of those big hunks of expensive plastic from back in the day. Those were a novelty, weren't they? I don't have one, so just imagine trying to play this with only the directional buttons. Just like in the movie, the bad guys have taken control of the airport, except this time there are thousands of them you have to shoot. There are innocent people you're supposed to avoid shooting as well, but good luck trying to distinguish between them and the enemies. It's impossible. At first, it's pretty fun blasting away at these guys, but over time, it quickly becomes boring again. There's just not much to it, and the only real excitement is seeing the bad guys explode into fountains of blood. Ooh, look at him, he's ketchup. This one takes you through the key locations from the film, like the plane and the church, but I ended up running into this weird glitch where I kept getting hit by some enemy I couldn't see. Like, where is he? I'm shooting just about every pixel on the screen, but I can't find this guy. Ugh. Oh well, I'd say this is the best game of the 3, if only because when you die, John McClane sees a bright light and goes to action hero heaven. How touching. Die Hard with a Vengeance, the title that just rolls off the tongue. This might be my favourite movie of the series, but it's easily the worst game of the 3 on offer. It's a driving game where you're speeding through the city in a taxi crashing into bombs, sort of like Crazy Taxi for homicidal maniacs. Basically, you have to reach the bombs before time runs out, but it's completely bonkers. Like, how is smashing into these things and making them explode supposed to keep people safe? I don't remember that part of the movie. This game is borderline uncontrollable. The taxi seems to do whatever it wants, and turning or reversing is a complete nightmare. I don't even understand how the timer is supposed to work. It's just this basic stopwatch with no numbers or anything. How about a simple countdown instead? It's impossible to know how much time you have left, and even when you reach the bombs, you have to be pixel perfect and drive straight into them, or you'll just speed right past. This game blows. Literally. I tried playing this disaster for a full hour, but I could never get a grip on it, so I guess there's only one thing left to do. Drive into the river and sleep with the fishes. Besides, it's not like there's some great reward waiting for you if you beat all the games. The only amusing bonus here is the credits, which feature bizarre mugshots of all the developers. Maybe they were taking out their vengeance against the player by torturing us with these games. I've had this game since I was a kid, but it's always driven me insane. Maybe at the time it was neat to get 3 games in one, but in reality, it's just 3 times the frustration. It's less of a Die Hard trilogy, and more just a hard trilogy. Well, 4 years later in 2000, they ended up making a sequel, Die Hard Trilogy 2, Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! Indeed. Let's see if this one redeems itself. They really piled on the marketing here, with the cover boasting about a competition where you can win a fancy trip to Las Vegas. Anything to make you buy the game, eh? Also, the game seems to be compatible with just about every PlayStation accessory that was available at the time, even the mouse. Pretty astounding toy for a console that had no internet functionality. And the back of the manual has a weird ad for the game of Alien Resurrection, with this disturbing birth scan image. Stick that on your mum's fridge and see what she says. The game even has its very own licensed soundtrack, with music by BT and various rap singers of the time. The menu actually gives the game a theme song, which is just shocking to hear. John McClane always be in the wrong place. Nakatomi Plaza was the wrong place. Live hard, die hard, it's the trilogy. Play the game, I'ma play till it finish me. So the structure this time is a little different. Rather than splitting up the gameplay into 3 separate games, this game combines all 3 modes into one narrative, switching between exploring, shooting, and driving, depending on the level. This makes it a bit easier to digest and adds some more variation. You can still play each mode separately though, and to its credit, there's even a practice mode where you can hone your skills. I like how the third-person one is a nod to the original game, and the shooting gallery has you blasting cardboard cutouts. Just avoid little Susie carrying her books. But the most interesting thing about this game is that it has an original story, technically making this the original version of Die Hard 4, with the cutscenes in this bizarre stretched widescreen format. Given most TVs were square at the time, it's a baffling choice. The gist is that John McClane is still a lazy bum, despite saving the day so many times, and I'm happy to say that he's voiced by... not Bruce Willis.
Yeah? Hey, how's it going? Where you been, man? What are you talking about?
So McClane gets called up by an old friend named Kenny, who runs a fancy new prison in Las Vegas.
I know about your problems out there, and I thought a change of scenery would help. I still remember how you were there for me when I got in trouble with the department.
Kenny invites him to the prison for the grand opening, but of course the bad guys stage a riot, and McClane has to step in to sort things out. This is where the game begins, and it's much easier to control McClane this time, because now you can use the analog sticks. It's a way smoother experience compared to the first game, but there's still one teensy tiny problem. This game is Die Hard. Yep, just like last time, this game seems to have no concept of giving you enough health to survive. Oh, you have a health bar, or health badge, but it's essentially worthless because the bad guys cut you down in seconds. After just one shootout, my health was drained to virtually nothing, and in less than a minute of game time, I was dead on the floor. I mean, come on, this is John McClane. He can survive an exploding plane, but here he dies in under a minute? What a chump. We even get to see McClane lying in a body bag, just to rub it in that you're a pathetic failure. All the childhood trauma is coming back to me now. Admittedly, there are plenty of weapons to pick up in the game, but the enemies have you completely outgunned, and they'll always kill you long before you kill them. Another thing that really dyes my heart is the level design. Everything is like a big maze. Where am I supposed to go? This game has me jumping through windows and opening doors with key cards, but even racing through the level isn't enough to stop the bad guys from blasting you to pieces. It's Die Hard-abolical. And when you die hard, you have to start all over again from the beginning of the level. Didn't the developers ever hear of checkpoints? Maybe a save option? Come on, this is the first level. You know, the one that's supposed to let you ease into the game and learn the ropes. But I guess they were just too die-hardcore for that. I must have lost count of how many times I break my controller playing this first level as a kid. But hey, live hard, die hard. It is the trilogy. Well, after about 6,000 tries, it's time to break out the old cheat menu. Yeah, this is the beauty of old games. Sneaky cheat codes galore. Maybe with invincibility I can actually get through this thing. So after this torture, it's back to the shooting gallery mode, which is pretty much exactly the same thing as the last game. It's long, drawn out, and tedious, though I'm guessing it was more fun with a gun controller. Eventually, McClane busts out of the prison and discovers that the bad guys are holding the town hostage with bombs. Here we get our first taste of the driving mode, which is still abysmal. To be fair, at least you have a proper radar and timer now, but the control is atrocious. Making tight turns is impossible, and it feels like the car gets caught on every piece of scenery. You're supposed to bump into the enemy cars and destroy them, but that's some wishful thinking with this game. I actually think they put more effort into programming the ability to run over cows. Nothing like senseless animal cruelty to make the game more fun, right? After a big shootout, McClane has to infiltrate a secret base. It's all like a labyrinth, and most of these levels have you looking for keycards to open doors. Now, that's fine for just one level, but doing it over and over again quickly becomes a chore. Like when McClane reaches this biolab, you have to find the 3 keycards before the whole place self-destructs, but I couldn't find them anywhere. I looked all over the map, and by the time I found one, it didn't even work on the locked door. The only joy in this level is some of the extra weapons you can pick up. Ooh, the flamethrower! After another finicky driving stage where you have to disarm bombs planted across town, McClane makes it to Hoover Dam. Here you need to rescue the hostages and find yet another key card. Remember the scene in the movies where McClane was dodging electric force fields? He kills one of the bad guys and has to escape the dam in a truck. Have fun trying to do all this in the time limit. McClane tracks one of the big bads down to a casino, meaning more tedious shootouts. And there are so many hostages running around, it's impossible not to hit them. Normally, I just fire anywhere, but if you shoot too many innocents, you instantly lose, and McClane has to turn in his badge out of guilt. How moral. Back to third person for the casino, where, you guessed it, you have to find the key card to get out. Then, more shootouts. Are you noticing a pattern here? You really do have to wonder where all these goons are coming from. Even the chefs are in on it. The last third person stage, as you might expect, is crawling with enemies. You need to use a truck to bust down the wall, so McClane can confront one of the henchmen. When you beat him, he reveals that it's actually McClane's friend Kenny, who's behind all this madness.
I figured I could get rid of you at the same time that I was getting rich. Vegas was gonna be my ticket to Easy Street.
Why is he trying to kill McClane and take over Las Vegas? Well, apparently because he's sick of McClane getting all the glory, which doesn't really make any sense. I mean, from what we saw in the opening cutscene, McClane is basically a loser, and this guy is clearly a successful prison warden, so what's there to be jealous of?
Your luck just ran out.
Plot holes aside, the very last level is the longest shootout ever. It goes on and on with so many enemies, and for an action game, it's actually difficult not to fall asleep playing this. Then a big helicopter starts shooting at you, which you think might be the end, right? But no, the level just keeps going and going. I have to be honest, I was desperate to give up by this point. The whole game was just driving me crazy. But you know what? Live hard, die hard, it's the trilogy, and I'ma play till it finish me. So finally you make it to Kenny in his office, and you simply have to blast him until he goes down. But then, just when you think you're done, he suddenly gets a second health bar for no reason. What? I shot him like 4 million times. What is he, bulletproof? It's just a guy in a suit. This is beyond any semblance of reality. Well, once you do beat him, McClane finishes Kenny off, and he does a Hans Gruber onto a parked car below. Now that's how you die hard.
Vegas, what a town.
But we're not done yet, because now it's time for the secret levels. Another joy of classic video games. The secret shooting gallery has you blasting at mimes before they, and I quote, annoy you to death. So, if you are a mime, this is probably the most offensive game ever made. The hidden driving stage puts you in an alien vehicle, smashing into other cars, which is just bizarre. It doesn't really have any power-ups or anything, making it fairly pointless, but the level has some pretty trippy imagery. Rad, dude. But the crowning achievement of weird has to be the secret third-person stage, where you play as a rat with a cannon strapped to its back. What on earth is going on here? How did John McClane get turned into a rat? This mutant rat is trapped in some kind of secret base or something, and you have to blast other rats and open force fields to find your way out. What's going on here? What's up with this cryptic alien language? Why are there cows trapped behind force fields? Why is the health bar a jar filled with false teeth? It's so twisted and weird, and I kind of like it. Yeah, ever since I discovered this level, I've always found something eternally fascinating about it. It's like a glimpse of an idea for a completely different game, or the kind of game aliens would develop in their spare time. I feel like there's some deeper meaning here somehow. If there's a story behind this, then I'd definitely like to know about it. Oddly enough, this might be my favourite thing about the whole game. I just love booting it up and hearing that cheesy 90s rap music while the rat bops along. It's It's like nostalgia heaven for me. But when you think about it, it's a sad thing that my favourite part of this Die Hard game is the one level that has nothing to do with Die Hard. Video games can be so cruel. So those were the Die Hard Trilogy games, 2 exercises in extreme frustration. The first one was too basic and clunky, and while the second one had more character, it might be even more annoying to play. If these games were enemies of John McClane, I know exactly what I'd say to them.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Too right. These games have annoyed me ever since I picked them up as a kid, and the only real nostalgia value is thinking about the throbbing headache I get playing this game on a Sunday evening before school the next day. But, on the bright side, at least running around as a rat was 10 times better than doing your homework. Thanks for watching, and have yourself a die-hard Christmas.
Play the game till they finish me. Now come on, you where the villains and the killers be. Live hard.